This week we'll be focusing on Library of Congress subject headings, or LCSH for short. In this video, we'll learn how to search the Library of Congress Subject Authorities database, which is available at the following URL, authorities.loc.gov. For assistance with using this resource, check out the Help and Frequently Asked Questions sections. Let's begin by clicking on Search Authorities. This will take you to the search page. Since we are studying the Library of Congress subject headings, we'll be searching the subject portion of this database. So before you enter your search, make sure that the Subject Authority Headings field is highlighted. Type your search term into the box marked Search Text. For this demonstration, I'll use the term homophobia. Then click on either the Return key or the Begin Search button. This will take you to the search results page, a browsable alphabetical list based on your search term. The large center column lists headings and references. The column on the right tells you what type of heading you are looking at. This column should contain the phrase LC Subject Headings because you selected the Subject Authority Headings option on the previous screen. The first column indicates how this term appears in the LCSH Authority database. If the red button says Authorized Heading, that means it is the term LCSH has chosen as the official heading. If the red button says References, it means that the term in question is not the official term chosen by LCSH, but that clicking on the button will take you to the authority record for the official term. If there is no red button to the left of the term in the browse screen, that means there's no authority record for that particular term. For more information, simply click on the Help button directly under the Library of Congress Authorities banner. Each display in the authority file has its own custom help screen, explaining its various components. In our case, the button says Authorized Refs and Notes, which means that clicking on this button will take you to a record for the authorized term, in this case, homophobia, to a link to a record for related or see also heading, and to a scope note which offers additional information about the subject heading. Let's click on the red button to continue our search process. This takes us to a new page with links to various headings, including the authorized heading homophobia. Although not explicitly stated in the screen, but rather alluded to under the small title of your information for homophobia. Next is a link to a scope note which explains how to use the heading in question. Additionally, there's a link to a narrower term, that is, a term that can be subsumed under the broader heading of homophobia. LCSH is what is called a hierarchical controlled vocabulary, which refers to how the terms are connected, from specific, narrower, to general, broader, in relation to the particular term you are searching. In this case, the narrower term, internalized homophobia, is subsumed under the broader term, homophobia. Last of all, there's a link to related authorized heading, that is, a see also heading, in this case, heterosexism. Let's click on the authority record link. This takes us to an intervening page. I'm not sure what the purpose of this page is, other than to explain the links on the preceding page. So let's just ignore this intervening page and click on homophobia to continue on to the actual subject authority record. We have finally arrived at our destination and are now looking at the actual authority record for the term homophobia. There are two ways to view the record, the mark display and the label display. Although the mark display is the default, let's look at the label display first. This is certainly the more straightforward of the two displays, with each of the various fields clearly marked and explained. However, it's not as explicit as the mark display, so let's return to that. As you probably suspected from the name of the display, the fields in this record are coded with MARC tags, that is, Machine Readable Cataloging Tags. The important fields to look for in this record are The 150 field, which indicates that this is an authorized heading, in this case, homophobia. The 450 fields, which indicate alternative or unauthorized forms of the heading, for example, anti-gay bias, LGBT bias, sexual orientation discrimination, etc. The 550 fields containing the delimiter G, notice the little g in front of the heading, which indicate broader headings. These are headings under which the term homophobia would be subsumed, in this case, discrimination and phobias. A 550 field without the delimiter G indicates a related or see also heading, in this case, heterosexism. The label display does not distinguish between these two types of see also references, that is, broader headings and related headings, so it is important to consult the mark display to get this information. The 670 field cites sources for how this term is used, which is called literary warrant, or in other words, how SCSH justifies the form of name chosen as the authorized heading. And the 680 field contains the scope note, which explains how the subject heading is applied. Let's try another search. Click on the green New Search button. Again, make sure that the Subject Authority Headings field is highlighted. Type the search term gay men into the box marked Search Text. Then click on either the Return key or the Begin Search button. On the resulting page, click the red button that says Authorized and References to the left of gay men. On the resulting page, click on the Authority Record link. On the resulting page, click on the Gay Men link. Congratulations! You have now reached the authority record. Let's examine the mark display. The 150 field indicates the authorized heading, in this case, gay men. The 450 fields indicate alternative or unauthorized forms of the heading, for example, gays, male, earnings, etc. You may notice that one of the 450 fields includes a delimiter, that is NNE. This delimiter indicates that this reference was at one time an official authorized heading, but has since been superseded. For a current example of gay men, this former authorized heading is homosexuals, male. Knowing about these types of references is important for our purposes because they demonstrate how language has evolved over time. Again, this is another reason to use the mark display as opposed to the label display, which does not distinguish between these two types of headings. In this authority record, there are also 550 fields containing the delimiter G, which indicates broader headings, in this case, gays and men. This concludes our lesson on the Library of Congress Authorities Database. Happy searching!